Okay, so the direct sale, let me click from here. The direct sale refers to selling cookies to customers on the spot. Pretty much you're going to have the cookies and be able to sell them to customers and hand off the cookies. They don't have to wait. It's nothing like initial. You're going to have the cookies on hand. Now, usually during the direct sale, you sell your cookies through cookie booths. Now, the dates for the direct sales this year are February 16 through April 8th. February 16 is the beginning, and this is when you could start selling cookies at cookie booths. Now, GSSEM will arrange booths with many stores across the area. All of the booths that we set up will be uploaded into eBuddy by January 18, 2018. After that, if you notice that there's a location that you usually sell at isn't listed, you can then go ahead and contact that store and make arrangements. We ask that you wait until January 18 to prevent double booking. Now, Kroger, Walmart, Lowe's, Sam's Club, and Kmart are booths coordinated between GSSEM and their corporate headquarters. So we ask that you do not contact those stores because we already made arrangements with them. Now, Home Depot, Meijer, and Target ask that there's like a nonprofit no solicitation policy. So even if you don't see them listed, we ask that you don't contact them anyway. Now, the rules for selecting cookie booths are listed in your Troop Cookie Guide, the handbook, which is also, so if you don't have a handbook, you could go to our forms section on the GSSEM site and search for it. It is on the site. But here's a summary of the booth dates and signing up. On January 17 at 7 p.m., you could start signing up for mall kiosks. Now, at this point, you're only going to be able to select one per troop. And then on January 18 at 7 p.m., you could sign up to 2 slots per troop. Now, if you got one from the night before, you're only going to be able to select one more. Now, after January 18, kind of like what I mentioned already, you could start setting up your own local booths at stores not listed in eBuddy already. On January 19, 7 p.m., you could sign up for any remaining slots that are available for your troop. Now, we don't require that you upload the booths that you sign up on your own, that you kind of contact and make arrangements on your own. It's not a requirement to have them in eBuddy, but if you want them on the Cookie Locator app, you should get them uploaded into eBuddy. The Cookie Locator app is when a customer downloads the app, types in their zip code, and it lets them know which booths are available around them. Now, if they're listed in eBuddy, they would see that. Okay, so I am going to get to questions at the end of the webinar, my presentation actually. So if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to type them in. You don't have to wait until the end to type them in. I'm going to jump to eBuddy and show you how to make the selections. This is what your troop dashboard should look like. Now, if you don't have access into eBuddy, it's extremely important that you do get access before the sign up date. So if you haven't checked if you have access yet, I would do that tonight. And if you don't have access, email product sales. But before you do that, make sure that both of your required forms are turned in. What are the required forms? The ACH and the agreement to assume debt. Both of those forms are available online on the gssem.org website. So before you email product sales, I would definitely make sure that those forms are turned in because you're only going to waste time. We're going to tell you those forms aren't turned in, and then you're going to turn them in and then have to wait a little bit longer. So make sure those forms are turned in before you email product sales. And if you did turn them in and you still don't have access, let product sales know. Say, my troop, list your number, turned in the forms, and we still don't have access. Now, it's not automatic. If you turned in the forms tonight, you're not automatically going to be activated in eBuddy. You're actually going to have to email us and let us know that you turned in the forms. And volunteers are able to get into eBuddy if they're registered with a background check. If you're not registered with a background check, we also don't give you access, but we'll activate your troop. Okay, so when you first sign into eBuddy, it's going to look like this. Your troop number is going to be on the top, your dashboard. If you are activated for the current season, you'll see the current year. If you see 16 through 17, you're not activated for the current year. Now, tomorrow, if you're planning on signing up for mall kiosks, you sign in before 7 p.m. and hit the Booth Sites tab. The booths are listed by city. If you click a city, you'll see all the locations listed under that city. Now, these aren't all the locations. We are not done uploading all the booths into eBuddy, so you may see some booths listed here and there. You might think that your city has less booths than others, but really we're still uploading them into eBuddy. So give it some time. Eventually you're going to see them all listed by the 18th. Now, when you're ready to select your booth, you're going to click on the booth that you want, and you'll see them listed by times. Now, 3 to 6, if you want this state right here, you click on it, and if you see it empty, that means no troop has signed up for that booth yet. Now, if you see that it's filled out, that you'll be able to tell it's full or something like that. It pretty much tells you that that booth is filled up. Now, this is a 3-hour slot, 3 to 6. If you click the next one, you see that there's 2 slots, 12 to 3, 3 to 6. These are 3-hour slots. Now, to sign up for it, you just pretty much click it. You can't do it now because it's not available at this point, but it will be. But you pretty much just click it, and then it signs you up pretty much. And you hit update. And once you click it, you'll see the update button. Now, if a booth is outside, we usually make the note that it's outside. If you don't see outside, it pretty much means that it's inside or at a vestibule. Okay. Now, a good idea for the mall kiosks is to look up locations of the malls, what cities they're at, and then you could check the cities to see if your mall is listed. Like if you know Fairlane is at Dearborn and you're wondering if there's a kiosk over there, click Dearborn and you'll see that we actually do have mall kiosks there. And at the mall kiosk, you do not have to bring signage. It actually is required that you don't bring signage. They do not want signage. There's going to be signage already there. You don't have to bring tables. You don't have to bring, well, they do not allow chairs, so do not bring chairs. All you have to bring pretty much is your cookies. There's going to be a kiosk available with signage. You bring your cookies. Sometimes they provide a chair. You could bring your cash box, but all you have to bring is your cookies. With other booths, like at stores, you do have to bring everything. They don't provide tables, tablecloths, whatsoever. Okay. Now here are the lists so far, all the cities that we have listed so far. And it looks like my presentation is over with. I'm pretty much going to take the time to answer the questions that you have for newer leaders, older seasoned leaders. Go ahead and ask me the questions. I'm here to answer them. I just wanted to go over that presentation and now answer your questions if you have any. Is there a limit on how many booths we could sign up for on 119 once it opens up? No, there's no limits. Pretty much there's going to be some booths available, not all of them, so there's no limit. Yes, for all mall kiosks, you do not bring signage, you do not bring tables, and you do not bring chairs. I'm going to try to read through this, guys. They're all coming in at once, so if I take a second, forgive me for that. Do malls provide bags? In the past, we had bags at the kiosk, but we kind of ran through an issue where we would put out 1,000 bags at a kiosk and they run out over the weekend. We're not really sure if they actually had 1,000 customers over the weekend, but we're going to try to make sure that they don't run out that quickly. So we're going to probably have them at the cupboard for pickup. So when you pick up cookies, you pretty much mention you're doing a kiosk and we hand off bags. So I would hold off on that. We're still deciding on what to do, but there will be bags provided at kiosks in some way or another. Yeah, GSSEM will have signage at the mall kiosk since we cannot bring our since you cannot bring your own. There will be signage. It's pretty nice. It's a good way for customers to see that you're selling. They're pretty nice signage. So definitely there will be signage. Can you run a booth with no girls? No, there should be a girl at the booth. There are some slots during the school day, but we also have homeschool troops, so we kind of leave those for those homeschool troops. Some troops that are taking days off, have vacations, whatsoever. When I get a timed spot, do I type in my troop number? No, you pretty much just select it. You click on that, your troop number will show up, and you hit update, and that's pretty much your slot. No. Again, you don't have to. I'm sorry, I saw another question like this. You do not have to put in your troop number. You just pretty much select the location, and then that's pretty much it. You hit submit after that. I'll show it one more time. I know I can't do it now because it's not open, but pretty much you left click, you see your troop number, you're not typing it in, and then you hit submit or update. I think it's update actually. How does it work if we need to cancel our booth signups for some reason? Now, if you need it is actually recommended that if you cannot make a booth that you cancel it. It's actually the Girl Scout thing to do to give it up to another troop. If you do not know how to cancel it, just email product sales as soon as you know that you want it canceled, and we'll get it canceled for you. Usually what you do is go to the current signups that you have. You don't have any at this point, so I can't really show you. And then you go to the location, and then you click on this again, and then it'll like release that and hit submit. Pretty much you're gonna click on it again and then unsubmit or submit, and then it'll like cancel it for you. But if you have any questions with that, definitely let us know. We rather that you let us know if you're confused on that, and then we'll release it to another troop. Okay, how much cash would you recommend having on hand to start a booth? Okay, so with this question, it is based on where you are selling. I as I I'm working council. I don't usually sell at booths, obviously, but there are leaders, seasoned leaders that definitely will have an answer for you on that. My recommendation is to go on the product program support Facebook page and type the exact question in. Maybe give a little bit more specifics like I'm holding a booth at this Kroger. How much starting cash do you recommend that I bring? Our Facebook page is GSSEM Product Program Support. If you're not already on that page, I highly recommend it. You could get a lot of advice from seasoned leaders. Another question that you could ask them is how many cookies you should bring to a site, because that does depend on where you're selling. So definitely ask that question if you're new. How many cookies should I bring? And this is where I'm selling. And then leaders that have sold there before will give you an idea of how many. How do you divide? Oh, looks like I lost that question. How do you divide the amount of cookies sold at booths between the girls? Now that's up to you. It's kind of based on what the leader wants to do. If you want to divide it evenly, if you want to divide it based on how they're selling, if you notice one girl is pretty active during selling, if you want to give her some more, that is really up to the leader. There is no council rule on how you want to divide them up, but it's up to you if you want to do it evenly or based on their merit and how well they're doing. Is there enough spots open for each troop to get one? I was told other troops it's hard to get one. Um, there are not enough slots for each troop to get one. There's over 2,000 troops, and we have 12 kiosks reserved. It is impossible to have every troop have one, especially one that they want and a time that they want. So it is pretty hard to get a spot because they are the high seller booths, but we try to get as many malls signed up with us as possible every year. This year we have 12. So it is pretty, I'm not going to say it's easy to get a mall kiosk, but if you're in there on time and you didn't wait to see if you're an eBuddy and you're signed in, there is a chance that you'll get in. Let me see your next question. Do we need to register as a booth if we want to sell a sport event or elementary school? Yeah, you do. I mean, register as booth. I don't know if you mean like get into eBuddy. You could definitely get that into eBuddy. It could be considered a booth in eBuddy. How will we know where to go? Okay, this is a good question. How will we know where to go when we get to the mall? So when you sign up for a mall kiosk, there's a set of rules for each mall, as well as a direction map, which will tell you where the kiosk is. You'll get that map about a week, at least a week before your booth. So you'll know exactly where to park, exactly where to walk to. And then you'll also get the rules that go with the mall because each mall makes up their own rules and we abide by them. So you'll definitely get both before you start selling. What about sign for charge cards in Square? I think you're asking about like what if you bring signage saying you accept Square. Again, they don't really allow signage. If you want to have something like a flyer, I think that would be okay, but they really don't allow signage. Security will quickly ask you to remove that. Why can't you have chair? That's not my decision. It's actually not council's decision at all. It's pretty much the kiosk, the mall's decision. They have an idea of what they want their mall to look like. They don't want random chairs around. Sometimes they do provide chairs. I don't want to say at all malls that they will, but sometimes they do. Is it recommended that we accept cash only, no checks? That's up to you. I mean, I would I would ask leaders about that. Like I know there are some stories behind accepting checks, maybe only accepting them from parents that you know. The check won't bounce or anything like that. Maybe not random customers that are writing checks for very large amounts because you really don't know if they're good. I wouldn't do cash only. I would try to sign up for Square. If you're unaware of what Square is, check out our gssem.org site and search Square in the forms section. Square is pretty much a way that you could accept credit cards for cookies. And if you're gonna sell at a mall, I definitely recommend Square. Can we sell impromptu definitely. Can we sell impromptu at a bowling alley, sporting event? Yes, definitely. If you have cookies, I definitely, that's definitely okay that you sell on the spot. That's actually what direct sale is. You may not have a girl available, maybe not a girl around. That's fine. You're selling on her behalf in that instance, but you can't hold a whole booth for hours without a girl. No, you can't do that. But if you do have cookies and you're selling on a girl's behalf, maybe your own daughters, that is fine. I'm a new troop leader. Who do I contact for the cookie cupboard? I am not sure what you are asking. If you're asking for the context of the cupboards or you're asking to be one, pretty much the cookie cupboards, we're going to email everybody and anybody a list of the cupboards available this year. It'll give the context, pretty much their addresses, so you have an idea of where to pick up cookies throughout the sale. Okay, so we add boots all the way up to January 18. There may be a chance that a store decides to get back to us and we add it after January 18th. There may be a chance of that. We don't announce it to troops. We pretty much just add it. So if you're an e-buddy here and there, I would definitely check back and see if there are booths open. We do make sure that the store, when we get these late forms, booth forms pretty much telling us when we could sell, we do make sure that they're not like agreeing with other troops, to sell because there may be a chance that the troops decided to contact them because they didn't see them listed. So we try to avoid double booking. If they're going to send it to us late, we try to make sure that troops are also not contacting them, so there's no double booking. But yeah, I do recommend double checking in eBay maybe the first couple weeks, just checking out the booth site because you might see a new store listed here and there. Nothing is listed for Chesterfield. Will there be listings in this area? Like I mentioned before, we're still adding booths into eBuddy. You may not see them all listed now, or you may not see one listed in your area now, but it will be eventually. We try to get all areas. How many mall kiosk spots are available this year? There's 12 malls. There's February 16 to April 8 every day, pretty much, and then even on the weekends. We do every day during the mall kiosk time because the management at the malls do not want empty kiosks, so they ask that we try to get troops there every day, all day. What are the forms that you need to get at complete to set up an eBuddy and where are the forms located. I did mention this, but I'll mention it again. Okay, let me see if I could pull up the GSSEM site. I'm going to try to pull up the GSSEM site so I could show you where those forms are. Okay, so the hub isn't working anymore. It's pretty much discontinued. But if you do click on the hub and you click on programs, click on product program right under it, it should take you to the product sales page, which is pretty much the cookie page, what I have been calling it. And if you scroll down, you'll see where the Cookie Cafe will be pretty much under training. You'll see where the Cookie Cafe recording will be. And then the two forms that are required are the ACH form and the agreement to assume debt form. Do not email product sales until you get these forms turned in. Trust me, you're just going to waste your time. Get these forms turned in and then email product sales and say, my true blank turned in these forms. Can I have access into eBuddy? Again, do not email product sales if you do not have these forms turned in already. And if you did, let us know. We're just trying to save you time, guys. We're making sure that we don't go back and forth with you. We want you in on time. If you have an establishment that allows us to sell, do we have to submit online or just work with an establishment? You do not have to request anything from us. If you want to set that up, you set it up and you sell there. You do not have to set up anything with us or get approval from us. However, if you want an eBuddy, you do have to get approved. You pretty much just upload it into eBuddy, we approve it, and then it's on the Cookie Locator app. You cannot bling your booth at a mall. You can't. I mean, if they're doing it, that's wrong. They can't do that. I mean, if anybody wants to ask us for questions, specifics on that, they can, but they can't bling their booth at a mall because bling your booth requires signage and you can't bring signage to a mall. Under current signups, will that list all of our booths? Yeah, the booths that you selected, you'll see current signups. Not booths in total for a council, but the booths that you signed up for. It seems like they're okay. eBuddy is pretty much like a lottery system. There's going to be like a lot of troops in at once. Everybody's going to make the selection, and eBuddy does the lottery system for us. It randomly selects troops. What was the Facebook page called? GSSEM Product Program Support. Definitely get on that page. You could get a lot of advice from seasonal leaders there. Okay, someone else asked, how do you divide the booth sales to girls? Okay, I guess I could quickly go over that one. Okay, so to divide booth sales between girls, you would go to girl orders, click on the girl's name. Well, I don't think I could do it now because it's not available, but pretty much you could do it in girl orders, click on the girl's name, and then you could start adding cookies under her name. What you'll see is the button is called add a transaction. Usually it's listed right over here. And then once you see add a transaction, you'll see like all these green boxes show up on the bottom. And then you type in the types of cookies that she sold and then hit submit. But girl orders is where you're going to pretty much assign the cookies for the girl. This is listed in, these directions are in your handbook, guys. By the way, it's on page 29. If you order cookies for under initial order, you cannot return them in the cupboards. You can't do any returns on them. You pretty much have the whole sale to sell them. My recommendation is do not over order on initial. Order what you need for the girls' orders, like their family and friend orders, and then maybe order a couple more. Order enough for maybe the first couple booths, not all the booths you plan on doing, because you could always visit a cupboard later on. If you realize you ordered way too many, get on that Facebook page and let people know. Usually troop leaders want to help each other out and they'll take the cookies from you instead of a cupboard. If you take checks, make the checks out to Girl Scouts of Southeastern Michigan, then you're a troop member. Usually security tries to take care of the troops that are putting out signage in a booth. I mean, we can't take care of all of them because we're not all at all kiosks, but usually security takes care of that. Why do the malls have 11 to 4? We try to break it up, including all openings. Well, the malls are open at random times. We try to include all times that the malls are open, so you may see time slots that don't work for your troop, but hopefully an evening one will. The flyer should be on the 5 for 52 flyer should be on the site soon. In the meantime, you will find it in your booth kit when you pick up your initial order. So when you pick up your initial order, everybody will be getting a booth kit. And in there, you'll see the 5 for 52 flyer as well as rules and cards that you can hand out to customers. No, it's not hard to get a booth approved from council. We don't have too many restrictions, I want to say. Pretty much if you want it in the Cookie Locator app, you have to get it approved. When will the cookie cupboard list be emailed to us? I would say within a couple weeks, definitely, way before you start picking up. So available boots, I think it even listed. Let me check one thing. Green will tell you the openings. So if you see something blue, it's going to tell you no openings. Right now they're all blue because there's no openings since the time isn't open yet. So when you see green, you click on that location and you'll see an opening. How do we collect donations? I don't know if you mean for the troops or troop to troops. Troop to troops, pretty much if they want to make a donation for that, you pretty much accept the money and assign it to the girls under the T to T column. Donations for the troop, you could accept that, but we ask that you can't really put out signage for donations for your troop. Where do we get the cookies to sell? From cupboards. I'm going to be going over that at another webinar, so definitely check that out. Okay, if you want to sell at a sporting event or elementary school, you can sell at them. But if you want it on the Cookie Locator app, you have to let us know through eBuddy. We get it approved, and then it's on the Cookie Locator app. I hope I cleared that up for you. Okay, I kind of already answered this question. We get all boots in by January 18. There may be a couple stragglers that turned it in late, and we add them on later as we get them. So you may see more as time comes. We make sure there's no double booking, so we tell the store that we're going to accept this from you, but make sure you're not, accepting other arrangements from other troops. If we set up booths on our own, will girls receive credit? Yeah, definitely. I mean, the cookies that you're selling, you're going to be assigning to the girls. You don't need it. It doesn't need to be an eBuddy, the booth. The Super Bowl winners, well, the deadline for that was on the 19th. So you could continue to turn in entries. And I would say about a week after, troops that have been selected will be notified. There is an open, I'm sorry, the Detroit shop is open. If you visit the GSSEM site on the locations, council location, you'll see the hours. So I already mentioned where in eBuddy you can enter sales for boots. It was under girl orders. There's no limit to how many cookies you could pick up at a cookie cupboard. 5 for 52 is when a customer purchases 5 cookies at a booth. You hand them off a card, an entry card, which will be included in your booth kit. They fill it out. Well, actually, they go to the site, fill out their information, and then they're in they're going to be randomly selected, but pretty much they have the opportunity of winning a box of cookies for every week of a year. That equals 52 boxes. That's pretty much it. They get randomly selected. So whenever you get a customer buying five or more cookies, you definitely could recommend. You definitely can hand them off an entry card. So if you see that a customer is buying 4 boxes of cookies, you could up it up to 5 for them to get the entry card. Do I need to enter cookies by January 19 to get home delivery? No, that I think was the deadline to turn in that form. When and how we get the cookie booth kit? You'll get the cookie booth kit when you pick up your initial order. So that was that. So when you go to the delivery site, pick up your initial cookies, you'll also be handed off the booth kit. Okay, I'm gonna go through the questions one more time, make sure I didn't miss anything. I will be discussing cookie cupboards during goal getter time. So there's a webinar called Goal Getter Time. I'll be discussing cookie cupboards. Okay, I'm going to run through these questions, make sure I got everything. If you are all set, you're more than welcome to exit. Thank you for attending. I will definitely. But yeah, if you're all set, you definitely could exit. I'm going to continue to answer these questions. Hopefully I don't miss any. In the cookie booth kit, you're going to find like a booth tally sheet, a goal getter card where if you run out, you can make copies of, a thank you cards, allergen sheet, information on 552. There's a bunch of very valuable information in that. So definitely when you get to the delivery site, ask for it if they don't give you it, but you should be receiving one there. Okay, when I look at my girl list in eBuddy, it doesn't match. What do I do? So if you look in eBuddy and you notice that your girls aren't listed, make sure that you're in the right season first. And then if you're sure in your right season and you're sure you're and they're the right troop, email the list to product sales. Now, if their girls are not registered, they're not going to get added. So make sure that they're registered before you make the email. Send the email. Do you know if Kroger was the first 2 weekends only like last year? Okay, so Kroger has a contract with all Girl Scout councils. They provide us with the weekends that we could sell at. This year, it is 2 weekends like last. Now, we can't ask for more. It's something that GSUSA meets with Kroger corporate headquarters about. So it's nothing that we could ask for more of. It's pretty much a set rule that they come together and make. So it is 2 weekends like last year, but this is nothing that we could, negotiate on. It is a set rule between them. Will the cookie sales materials kit be mailed? Mailed. No. You should have already received it. If you didn't, one way you could go get one is to visit a shop. They have all the material. Or you could email product sales and just let them know that you haven't received it yet. Okay. Okay, I'm just making sure I got all the questions. Again, if you're all set, you're more than welcome to lead. Thank you for attending. The recordings will be on our cookie page. If you go to the page I showed you how to get here, under Cafe webinars, you'll find the recording of this webinar. It's the same webinar. It's just a recording of what we did tonight. If you don't see it, it's not going to be listed right away. So do give it some time before you check it out. There's no recommended, there's no set rule on how many girls should be at a booth, by the way. So there's no set rules. So we just ask that you have girls at your booths because they're the ones that should be selling. But there's no rule on how many girls have to be at booths. Okay. If you have any other questions, guys, definitely ask us. Don't hesitate to ask us. Email productsales@gssem.org. If you're having issues getting into eBuddy, figure that out tonight. Do not wait. If you know the forms are turned in, definitely let us know. If you notice that your troop, well, first thing I would do is make sure that you could send into eBuddy. If you can't, make sure that your forms are turned in. If they are, email product sales and let us know. Once you're in eBuddy, check it out. If you see your girls aren't listed and you know they're registered, email us their names. Right now is all about boots. Next week, your initial order is due. So make sure that your girls are listed for that initial order when you start assigning cookies. So if you notice that the girls aren't listed, definitely contact us and let us know. Kroger's are going to be added into eBuddy just like other boots. You're going to select them just like other boots. They're going to be listed under the same place. I'll hold off a minute before I exit just to make sure I got all the questions. Whole Foods and Plum Market, no, there are no booths set up there from GSSEM so far. Check on them on the 18, maybe that changed, but so far there isn't. And I don't think there will be, so I think on the 18th you're fine in contacting them. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you everyone for attending. If you have any other questions,